What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Quick little video here to talk about something from last week that I didn't have time to talk about because we had a pretty important game, and then the fallout from that game was pretty big. But you guys might remember last week I talked about a decision the Seahawks made briefly that obviously isn't really going to affect anything all that much short term or long term, but it is a decision the team made, and I do want to talk about it a little bit because we have more information. So I got this somewhat older tweet from Jordan Schultz talking about Eric Saubert. The Seahawks have agreed to a one-year contract extension with tight end Eric Saubert. Now, since this contract extension, Eric Saubert's a little bit of a hero, having caught the game-winning two-point conversion against the Rams, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the contract extension because we now actually have some details. So let's talk about that for a little bit and break down what we can. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today. Get to it and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, so now, and this is this is like a week old, admittedly, and I just didn't have a chance to talk about it, but we now have contract extension details from Over the Cap. And remember, this is a very rare thing for the Seahawks to do. It's very rare for Seattle to extend a player in the middle of the season, especially somebody as theoretically disposable and relatively minor in the grand scheme of things like an Eric Saubert. But we decided to extend it, and now we have the numbers here. So if you take a look at Over the Cap, first you have the 2025 year, which is obviously unaffected because we're almost done with 2025. So there's nothing to say there. It's like a 1 year, $1.04 million cap hit. But the 2026 number you can see is significantly higher, about 2.4 million on the cap hit. So you've got the base salary, which goes up a little bit. You've got a signing bonus of $250,000, and then you've got the per game roster bonus, which adds up to just over 500,000. So 2.4 million is the cap hit, which in terms of the cap percentage is basically double the previous deal. However, there's no guaranteed salary here, and the dead money is only the 250,000 prorated signing bonus. So if you change your mind in the offseason and you decide to cut Eric Saubert, you're only owing him $250,000, which is very insignificant in the scheme of an NFL team and their salary cap. You can't even sign the lowest rookie in the world for $250,000. You can't even sign a very back-end UDFA that you sign in maybe like July for $250,000. At least not for a full season. So very insignificant. And honestly, 2.4 million, not very significant either, but certainly more significant. It's an order of magnitude more. So there's a little something there. And given the fact that Eric Saubert doesn't really play that much, there might be a little bit of a confusion here. But I think when you put it all together, this is not terribly surprising. And I think this is probably about right. I said in my initial Eric Saubert video that if he got more than 3 million, I would be confused. But 2.4, I actually think is probably about where you want to be. Eric Saubert has a reputation for being a very good blocker. And remember that we are talking about a Clint Kubiak offense. And even if Kubiak leaves, we may continue to run his offense with a different player that really likes to use multiple tight ends and really likes to have blocking tight ends on the field. and Eric Saubert has proven himself to be at least reliable in this capacity. So you go to Pro Football Focus, and look, Pro Football Focus, I'm not saying we always got to trust everything they say. Believe me, I don't. It is interesting. So far this year, Eric Saubert has been just kind of mediocre, forgettable in his run blocking grade at 59.8, which is basically replacement level. But his pass blocking has been really stellar, 80.5. Now, look, pass blocking for a tight end, not really the priority here. Run blocking is way more important, but still, 80.5 pass blocking grade, that is something that's going to earn you a little bit of money. You're still talking about 1 to 2 times a game lining up for a pass blocking opportunity. That is not nothing. And then you have plays like the 2-point conversion against the Rams, where initially Saubert is blocking, but then he leaks out into a route. That counts as a route. So you have plays like that. And I think we all know that tight ends quite frequently start a play blocking and then leak out into a route. So that's something that he probably does a lot, and that's something that he does very well. If you actually go to Pro Football Focus's tight end page and sort by pass blocking grade, you'll see that only 3 players rank ahead of where Saubert is in pass protection. Mo Alley-Cox, Kyle Pitts, and Jackson Hawes. And Saubert doesn't list here because he doesn't play enough snaps to qualify, but if he did, he would be 4th place. And if you sort by run blocking, by the way, you'll see that there isn't a lot of competency here right now. There are definitely some pretty good run blockers, but when you sort this list and you go through it, you pretty quickly get down to the guys who are around 60. So it's not like there's a lot of high-level run blocking at the position right now. Like, nobody goes above 77. And again, it's PFF grades. We take them seriously to an extent, but we're also very cautious with them. So personally, for my money, I think that he is a good, maybe even very good blocking tight end. And I think that is actually valuable in a league where blocking has kind of gone by the wayside. A lot of these guys don't block. They don't know how to block. And on a team like Seattle, we need blockers, especially given that we are talking about a team that already has Elijah Arroyo for the next couple years, who is not really a blocker. So you want to try to mitigate that. All right, I just wanted to make this video to talk about the Saubert contract extension because it was a loose end. 1 year, $2.4 million with practically nothing guaranteed, only $250,000. So there is flexibility here to move on. But I mean, Saubert, he's given you about 200 snaps so far this year. He's going to end up somewhere around 250 snaps on the year. It's really not hard for this to be worth it, and I think that it is. So yeah, next year, maybe his snaps go down to like 180 because Arroyo plays more because it's his second year. But by that same token, what if AJ Barner gets hurt? Then a guy like Eric Saubert plays a lot more. All right, just some stuff to think about. I'm pretty good with it. I think it's reasonable and not against it. Okay, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everybody have a good day. I will talk to you guys soon. Maybe one more video later today. Should be on Twitch later. Keep an eye out on SI. I had one article go up this morning, and I will be having probably another later today.